Hey there, kids. It's Mr. Zero of Mr. Zero's Terror Ride. How you doing? I understand I haven't made a video in a long time because I've been busy doing 2 jobs, 3 jobs, 4 jobs, 5 jobs in the month of October. So but I was able to do 2 Mr. Zero videos, so feel free to check those out on my channel. I would put links to them, but why do I have to do extra work just because you guys are lazy? You want to see my videos, click on the link to my channel, scroll down, check out the Mr. Zero's Terror Ride playlist and watch those videos. Um, been kind of busy today trying to brand myself, I guess. I'm not fully familiar with these kind of terms, but I'm branding myself, trying to build up my brand on Facebook. I probably should link to Facebook on this, but um, actually I did try and it didn't work, so whatever. But I've been trying to up Mr. I used to have a Divine Comedians page on Facebook that had like 7 people liked. So I changed it to Mr. Zero Obtuse Comic. I like to change up what kind of comic I am. Sometimes I'm a spooky comic, sometimes I'm a weirdo comic, sometimes I'm just obtuse. I like using obtuse instead of absurd, because then it's not so brainy, even though it is. Like you say obtuse, and people don't understand what I'm saying, because I'm in Utah. But I say obtuse meaning like stupid, and that's what kind of the zero to me has kind of become. It's an absurdist. There isn't a symbol for absurdity, so instead of absurdity, I use a zero to mean like there's no meaning. It's ridiculous. Everything's ridiculous. I know. Which isn't the reason why I took the name Mr. Zero. It just like he has no name, so he's Mr. Zero. Whatever. Don't think about it too much, kids. Your heads will explode. So I've been working on branding myself. I might start doing stand-up. I'll keep you posted on that. Anyone that's local, I'll let you know where I'm doing it. It's going to be open mic stuff because they don't know me. It turns out I found an article. I don't know if I've talked about this in any previous vlogs, but I read an article about the stand-up comedy scene in Utah that's been burgeoning. And it made me mad because, and this is like in the past, probably like 2008 till now. That's like 5 years. In the past 5 years, there is like a scene of stand-up comedians, and I'm sure most of the ones that I knew doing stand-up comedy at the only place you could do stand-up, it's called Wise Guys. Those guys, I'm sure most of them aren't even doing it anymore. They probably gave up. Because it's hard work doing stand-up. That's the reason why, not everybody does it. It seems like it'd be an easy job, but you have to go up and you have to be rejected. Because you're going to be. You cannot, no one goes up their first night of doing stand-up and kills perfectly. And if they do, the next night the next night they go up, they might not make it. And what was always interesting when me and Violet used to perform there, doing clown skits, it was a once a month thing. You only had once a month to do it. Now I think that the Wise Guys has a weekly, and there's other places around here that do have a comedy night. But it used to be just a once a month thing, and so you'd go on that night, and then a month later you try, or maybe it was twice a month, I can't remember, but you'd do it, and you'd see a lot of the same comedians come in and do the same material that wasn't working for them. And it's like you have to kind of try to branch out and do other things. When you watch the auditions for Last Comic Standing, people would come in with a novelty bit, and they might have other bits at home that they do, but they'll come up with this novelty character for a novelty bit with a whole bunch of jokes around that, and they wouldn't take them on the show because they're like, this is a one-time, you can't perform this week after week. And that's why I would never audition for it as Mr. Zero, because they'd probably think that of Mr. Zero. But the Divine Comedians, we had like a log of about 4 or 5 to 6 bits, 5-minute bits that we could do. And we would perform them, like, first month this, second month that, and there's like 3 or 4 of them, like 3 of them that we ended up videotaping and putting up on YouTube, which you can check out on my channel too. But these other comedians would do the same things again and again and again, and it's like, it's not working for you. You need to change it. You really have to listen for the response, which is hard to do. I've heard other comedians will actually record their performance so they could hear where people are laughing, because you don't get it. There were some performances, one of the ones that we videotaped, I thought we did terrible on. I thought there was no laughter, and you can kind of tell by the way we're walking off stage. We got off stage really quick, and then we go back and we watch it. I'm like, oh no, there's some laughs there. There's people, I think, did enjoy what we did a little bit. But that's all in the past. But yeah, so now we've got this burgeoning scene in Utah with like comics slowly rising, with a bit more variety. I guess you're allowed to swear now, which we weren't. We were told specifically, watch your language, watch your content, which is just like, really? But whatever. So yeah, that's one thing I've been thinking about doing, is doing stand-up. I was actually thinking about paying the money to take a stand-up class, not to learn, but just to motivate me to get up on stage. And maybe I'll just do straight stand-up for that, and then kind of like veer. Once I get motivated in doing it, maybe get kind of a name for myself, I'll start adding more Mr. Zero type characteristics to my show. And also, what I have done is at my sign swinging job, those of you who are familiar with me, I swing a sign for a hair salon out, like, not too far from where I live. I just drive on over there, and I used to just hold a sign for them and wave at people. Hi! What I do now is I juggle while doing that, which is kind of tricky. I have to take I've got this signpost right next to me. I think it's a children's crossing sign, because it's pretty close to a junior high school. And I take the sign, which all of them have, they have a hole in the top and the bottom, all these like vinyl signs that I work with, plastic vinyl signs. And so I stick a hook of a bungee cord through the top hole, snake it around this post, and then stick the hook through the other bottom. And what it does is it holds it to the post, but it also makes it so that I can swivel it back and forth. So when traffic's coming this way, I'll juggle, have the sign swivel towards traffic and juggle, and then swivel it to the next when the light changes. And I made $3 doing that, which was fun. Oh, on top of my salary, my wage, which is minimum. Other people don't believe me. Well, like, how much do you make doing that? And I'm like, minimum wage. No, man, you're out there in the cold. You gotta be making. Hey, I don't know anyone that would pay more than minimum wage for this job. I just stand there. It can be miserable. It's definitely not for anyone. It can be mind-numbingly boring, which is one of the reasons why it's so great that I started juggling and doing it. It gives me something to do. But I tell you, after 4 hours of juggling, it takes a toll. I'm 33 years old. Just turned 33 in October, and I'm worried I might have a heart attack out there, because after about when I'm on my 4th hour of doing it, which is my typical shift, is about 4 hours. On my 4th or 5th hour, I'm just like, I don't realize how much you don't realize how much it works you. Also, I've created a new juggling routine. I've worked it out. Um, I don't have anywhere to perform that yet, but I did work it out. Um, that's what's been going on in my life. How Haunted House is over, and I'm glad. It was a hard Halloween season for me. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but it was a hard Halloween season for me. Didn't really get into the spirit. I've been feeling Christmas this year. That's weird for me. I usually am like, oh, Christmas is here. But I've been feeling Christmas. I've been feeling Christmassy. So I'm kind of excited I might go street performing out this December. Build my brand some more. I wanna print out some business cards for Mr. Zero. So here you go, check me out. And that's what's going on with me. So I've just wasted 11 minutes of your time just talking about how I'm going to try and improve my life. Also, I might as well just mention this. There will probably be a lot less vlogging on this channel. I'm going to try to make it more geared towards my clowning, and so I'm going to try to post more Mr. Zero videos in the upcoming months. And I'm going to make it like a Mr. Zero's Terror Ride will be like an actual show. In the style of like Pee-wee's Playhouse or Pinky Lee or Howdy Doody, something along those lines, you know, because that's kind of like what was the inspiration for it all along. That's why I've got the puppets to interact with, which, you know, that's anyone that's new to this, go back and check out like my first videos. There was Mr. Zero's 50 Clowns, and then there's I think the first one was just called Happy Birthday, which was a kind of inspired by a bit that I had written for Violet to perform as a really bad birthday clown. And I performed this for a bunch of stuffed animals, and that's where the puppetry came in and all that, as extra characters to have. So that's the start of that. Back when my original idea was to have Mr. Zero living in a closet, it ended up becoming a bathroom instead because it was just easier to film in there. So yeah, I was filming in the bathroom at the apartment I was living in, and now I've got my own playroom of doom to perform in. So, yep, sorry for wasting about 13 minutes of your time talking about myself, but I'm the only one in here really, so who else would I talk about? Okay, I've got to go. In communication.